All right, Helen, if you look at the daily update on 1000 days challenge, this is day 581. So definitely going further down in terms of the equity balance itself. So it's both a mixture of the experimental trade setup over here and also in terms of the main trading account setup. But that's part of the drawdown, and that's why I'm because it's mainly trend following kind of strategy. So when it comes to choppy kind of a scenario, even though we do try to filter down certain trades, we will definitely still have to take some of the losing trade itself. So definitely have been stopped up for Ethereum itself. So let's see how things goes. So for Bitcoin, it's still rather uncertain for now. So over here you can see. Yeah, but going back in terms of the daily market structure itself, so the S&P 500 Nasdaq or US market tentatively looks to be a little bit more neutral towards the bearish side of things, simply because you can see on the daily chart itself, actually very nicely rejected out this 200-day exponential moving average, and then we actually opened below, and right now we're trending towards the downside. But I wouldn't say that short-term wise, I would say that it's bearish, but mid-term wise, I would say potentially neutral wise, we could consolidate over here and still continue to break towards the upside, because you could forming somewhat like a downslope trend line over here. So we do want it to break cleanly above there. So yeah, so conservatively use this. And until we break above that, then a potential swing of momentum could happen in that sense. So similarly for Nasdaq, we are forming the same sum on the downslope trend line, forming nicely over here just as well. So yeah, let's see how things goes, but definitely short to mid-term wise is short term wise definitely linear towards bearish. Mid-term wise could be a little bit more neutral. So short term wise definitely refers to less than a week, whereas mid-term wise probably less than a month in that sense. All right, then for ASA short and KREP definitely looks to be bearish. Yesterday we actually got rejected off this 20 exponential moving average, and today we actually get below. But of course, like what I mentioned, as long as we do not close below here strongly, or at least stay below here for 1 to 2 weeks, I tentatively still leans towards a potential false breakout and a continuation pattern towards the upside. But of course, we could still definitely still see further downside, especially when you're seeing KREP over here, which is actually broke down below here yesterday on the daily chart. And then right now we are seeing that selling momentum could potentially be continuing, or it's actually currently continuing itself. But of course, the question is how far can we go? So we actually mark this from the all-time high. So negative 80% could see us towards the $20 region, which is definitely potentially possible. Or even the 90% sell-off could see us near the $10 mark. So don't look at this in terms of a dollar sense of how low it can go, but rather to say it's really about the underlying tech stocks or underlying index stocks that's actually KREP holding itself. So I don't see any further strong selling pressure other than the fact that, of course, there's likely to be further tension in terms of the war tensions between China and US. But of course, if you look in terms of the companies that is being held in this KREP itself, tentatively they are still predominantly strong in terms of their domestic market itself. So I don't see much of a reason for me to sell off. But personally, this has been a very enriching lesson in terms of understanding the impact and how the differences in market between the US and China market. So that's definitely something that I've learned in my journey of the past, I guess, few years that I've learned. And that's something new for me as well. All right. Otherwise, yeah, so one thing to bear in mind, like I mentioned, is 1000-day challenge. I'm definitely not a personal expert in terms of finances as well. I'm definitely learning along the way. And as I do learn things, I do share with you the different thoughts and consideration that I have in mind, and also the experience that I went through itself. Otherwise, that's more or less about it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop by your comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.